Hello, welcome to the Point. This is a fairly new series talking about the human body, amongst other things. We're talking a little bit about botany and zoology, but today we're going to be talking about the human body, but we're going to take a step back and look at human body from instead of getting up close and personal with the human body, we're trying to look at the whole thing as a functioning unit, if you like, and also how the human body, created in the image of God, actually survives on planet Earth, which is also created by God. Before I start, I just want to recommend programs by a very close friend of mine, who you know very well, probably, Dr. Laura Richardson. She actually has a wonderful program, Health in Focus, which is Wednesdays at 3:30. So we try and work together, and we have slightly different emphases. But anyway, I do recommend Laura's programs, Health in Focus, 3:30 every Wednesday. Now, this is going to be a slightly different program. We're going to show you a 9-minute video by a very famous person. I'll read his name out, Professor Alexander Tsiaris. That's spelled T-S-I-A-R-A-S, who is an associate professor of medicine at Yale University. He is so clever that, as he will tell you in the video, NASA actually asked him to work for them as well. He'll tell you what he does with NASA. He is incredibly bright, this person. And I thought it was such an amazing video that I would take up 9 minutes of this program to show the video. So what we're going to actually see when we watch this video in just a moment is we're going to see how God actually forms each one of us in our mother's womb. We need to remember, as we look at this, that Jesus Christ is the author of life itself. It says in John chapter 1, "In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. All things were created by him. Nothing was made without him. In him was life." So where does life come from? Answer, from Jesus Christ. All right? Answer from Jesus Christ. And as we look at this amazing miracle in the womb, a baby forming itself over 9 months, what we're seeing is the genetic code, the DNA, causing the baby to grow all those specialized cells, heart cells, lung cells, eye cells, bone cells, skin cells, kidney cells, liver cells, and all the other cells. And we've got 100 trillion of them, by the way, and they're all different, just so that everything works together. Now, when we've seen this program, I'm just going to show you how absolutely extraordinary the whole thing is. So if we can just take 10 minutes, or actually 9 minutes, just to watch this video, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you when we've watched it.
I was offered a position as Associate Professor of Medicine and Chief of Scientific Visualization at Yale University in the Department of Medicine. And my job was to write many of the algorithms and code for NASA to do virtual surgery in preparation for the astronauts going into deep space flight so they could be cut in robotic pods. One of the fascinating things about what we were actually working on is that we were seeing, using the new kind of scanning technologies, things that had never been seen before. I mean, not only in disease management, but also things that allowed us to see things about the body that just made you marvel. I remember one of the first times we were looking at collagen, and your entire body, everything, your hair, skin, bone, nails, everything is made of collagen, and it's a kind of a rope-like structure that twirls and swirls like this, and the only place that collagen changes its structure is in the corner of your eye. In your eye, it becomes a grid formation, and therefore it becomes transparent as opposed to opaque. So perfectly organized a structure, it was hard not to attribute divinity to it, because we kept on seeing this over and over and over again in different parts of the body. One of the opportunities I had was one person was working on a really interesting kind of micromagnetic resonance imaging machine with the NIH, and what we were going to do is scan a new project on the development of the fetus from conception to birth using these kinds of new technologies. So I wrote the algorithms and code, and he built the hardware. Paul Lauterborough then went on to win the Nobel Prize for inventing the MRI. I get the data. And I'm going to show you a sample of that piece from conception to birth. Thank you. But as you can see, when you actually start working on this data, it's pretty spectacular. And as we kept on scanning more and more, working on this project, looking at these two simple cells that had this kind of unbelievable machinery that will become the magic of you. And as we kept on working on this data, looking at small clusters of the body, these little, pieces of tissue that were the trophoblast coming off of the blastocyst, all of a sudden burrowing itself into the side of the uterus, saying, I'm here to stay. All of a sudden having a conversation of communications of the estrogens, the progesterones, saying, I'm here to stay, plant me, building this incredible trilinear fetus that becomes within 44 days something that you can recognize, and then at 9 weeks is really like a kind of a little human being. The marvel of this information, how do we actually have this biological mechanism inside our body to actually see this information? I'm going to show you something pretty unique. Here's a human heart at 25. It's just basically 2 strands. And like this magnificent origami, cells are developing at 1 million cells per second at 4 weeks as it's just folding on itself. Within 5 weeks, you can start to see the early atrium and the early ventricles. 6 weeks, these folds are now beginning with a papilla in the inside of the heart, actually being able to pull down each one of those valves in your heart until you get actually a mature heart, and then basically the development of the entire human body. The magic of the mechanisms inside each genetic structure saying exactly where that nerve cell should go, the complexity of these, the mathematical models on how these things are indeed done are beyond human comprehension. Even though I am a mathematician, I look at this with a marvel of how do these instruction sets not make these mistakes as they build what is us. It's a mystery, it's magic, it's divinity. I mean, then when you start to take a look at an adult life, take a look at this little tuft of capillaries. It's just a tiny substructure, microscopic, but basically by the time you're at 9 months and you've given birth, you have almost 60,000 miles of vessels inside your body. I mean, and only 1 mile is visible, 59,999 miles that are basically bringing nutrients and taking waste away. The complexity of building that within a single system is, again, beyond any comprehension of any existing mathematics today. And then instruction set from the brain to every other part of the body. Look at the complexity of the folding. Where is this intelligence of knowing that a fold can actually hold more information? So as you actually watch the baby's brain grow, and this is one of the things that we're doing right now. We're actually doing a longitudinal studies of actually scanning babies' brains from the moment they're born every 6 months until they're 6 years old. We're going to be doing actually about 250 children, watching exactly how the jirai and the sukai of the brains fold to see how this magnificent develop actually turns into memories and the marvel that is us. And it's not just our own existence, but how does the woman's body understand to have genetic structure that not only builds her own, but then has the understanding that allows her to become a walking immunological cardiovascular system that basically is a mobile system that can actually nurture, treat this child with the kind of marvel that is beyond, again, our comprehension, the magic that is existence, that is us. Thank you.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. What we're seeing there is actually a miracle. It really is a miracle. And by the way, that happened to you. And it happened to me as well. It happened to all of us. I've actually done 2 programs already on DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, which is a very complicated genetic code. I'm not going to talk about it now because I've already done 2 programs on it. But it's possible you've actually missed them. If you have, you can go to my website, which is called freechristianteaching.org. And these programs will be on DNA, and the eye and the ear and lots of other pieces will be on the website. You can also order free DVDs as well.